To delve into this story, let's bring in our Europe editor, Nicholson. Catherine, it's great to have you with us. We're told that tens of thousands of Europeans living in the UK could become, this is really peculiar, illegal immigrants there.
Absolutely, yes. People who are quite legally living and working there at this point, or maybe children who are just at school, etc. Today is the last day for them to go online and apply to prove their right to stay in the UK. And they actually could face deportation further down the line if they don't do this. This is, as you said, one of the big changes post-Brexit, where immigration was such a massive topic for the British government. Since the UK left the EU, the immigration rules have changed. So anyone who doesn't have a British or Irish passport, essentially, who wants to live or work in the UK has to apply via different means. Now, we can show on screen about some of the changes that are happening. So people who have to apply, we can see they're citizens of an EU member state, citizens of an EEA state, that's Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, as well as Switzerland, family members of the above, anyone resident in the UK before 31st December 2020 who fits one of those categories. And as I said, you have to apply before midnight tonight, so just a few hours left to go. This includes adults and children as well. There has to be a separate application for children. And this has caused quite a lot of confusion. Now, the Business Minister, Anne-Marie Trevelyan, she spoke earlier about this scheme, and she said that she believes it's been really effective and slick for people who have applied so far. But it's the people who haven't applied who maybe aren't aware that they need to. So there's a campaign group called the 3 Million. They represent EU citizens in the UK. Here's Lara Parizzotto from the 3 Million.
Quite late on in the game, we're hearing from people saying, oh, I just heard that I had to apply for my child. Is that correct? Yes, it is. We're worried about people that lack the digital literacy skills to complete the application online. Also, children in care, for example, the information may not be reaching them. And just generally people that are not in touch with British media or have like mental health issues or physical health issues that are preventing them from submitting that application.
Catherine, as we just heard, a lot at stake. How many people are exactly affected by this?
It's the big question, and we actually don't know. Before Brexit, there was no requirement for these people to actually register anywhere that they were resident in the UK. This was all part of the EU's free movement of people. So we don't know how many people are supposed to apply. We do know how many people had applied up to the end of May. The British Home Office has told us it was 5.6 million applications. Of those, though, only about 2% were people aged 65 and older, which many suspect is lower than the true proportion of European pensioners. So hence some of those question marks, again, no way of knowing. Of those 5.6 million who had applied by the end of May, about half have actually been granted this settled status. Big sigh of relief for them. So they'd already notched up 5 years of residence in the UK by the end of last year. About 2 million have been given what's called pre-settled status. So when they reach the 5-year mark, they can apply. But there's no guarantee that they'll get it. Another 400,000 are just waiting to hear. About 70,000 have been rejected because their applications were deemed invalid. So, you know, there's a lot at stake for a lot of people here. The British government has said it will show leniency for anyone who has reasonable grounds for applying after today's headline, but perhaps a bit of a red flag there, because what's considered reasonable? Who knows? So, yeah, just a few hours left for people to apply. And they're really urging people, look, you know, check in on your neighbours, your contacts, see if maybe they do need to apply for this. There have been instances, for example, of Greek Cypriot people who fled Cyprus in the 70s. They brought their babies with them. These people have grown up. They're now in their 40s and 50s. They don't know that they're not actually legally entitled to be in the UK.
Extraordinary conditions. The burning question from me, Catherine, what about us Brits living in Europe?
Exactly, not to forget the Brits in Europe. Well, same deadline to apply for the right to remain, but it is different for each different member state, so I won't go through all 27. Here in France, people can apply for a special Brexit residence permit. But again, it's concerned that there could be confusion because it's different from the regular residence permit and people do have to swap it for a special Brexit one. So again, a reminder for people to check on their own status, people who are less digitally minded, older people, isolated people. It is expected that there probably will be quite a few thousand people who will have just missed this deadline.
Her mind